Hold on tight, collectors and treasure hunters, because what you're about to see tonight might just change the way you look at pennies forever. These aren't just ordinary copper cents lying forgotten in old jars or dusty drawers. These are hidden time capsules of American history, each one worth more than anyone could ever imagine. I'm talking about coins so rare, so mysteriously valuable that even the tiniest scratch or shade difference could mean the difference between a few cents and a life-changing fortune. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you might just realize that a single Lincoln wheat penny sitting in your home could be your ticket to an unbelievable treasure. We've searched deep across the U.S., from collectors' vaults to dusty attics, to uncover the top 10 ultra-rare and most valuable Lincoln wheat pennies in today's market. And trust me, when you see the number one coin on this list, you'll feel your heart skip a beat. So buckle up, turn that volume all the way up, and get ready to uncover the hidden fortune hiding right under your fingertips. Because this is Hidden U.S. Coins, and we're about to dive into the thrilling world of rare American treasures that are making ordinary people unbelievably rich. First, coin number 1. Our journey begins with a coin that carries whispers of World War II, a symbol of resilience, and a legend born from the ashes of one of the most defining moments in American history, the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark. At first glance, it might look like any other old penny, but the truth behind this small, gray-shaded piece of copper is far deeper, richer, and far more valuable than you could ever imagine. This coin was struck in the final year of the Second World War, a time when America's spirit was unbreakable, and every factory, every worker, and every resource was dedicated to victory. The U.S. Mint, too, was under immense pressure, producing billions of coins for a recovering economy. Yet somehow, among those billions, a few exceptional survivors like this 1945 wheat penny emerged, coins that stood out not for their quantity, but for their unmatched quality and hidden beauty. Now, what makes the 1945 with no mint mark penny truly special is not just its age, but its composition and color. Most pennies from this era were made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, but certain batches, due to metal shortages and alloy variations, developed a distinct gray tone, unlike any other. This mysterious grayish shade, combined with a remarkably clean strike and fine detail, makes it one of the most sought-after treasures for elite collectors. As you tilt this coin under the light, you'll see the delicate reflection of time, the elegant wheat ears on the reverse, still sharp and proud, symbolizing prosperity, and Lincoln's dignified portrait on the obverse, representing freedom and endurance. This coin doesn't just represent history, it is history. But here's where the suspense deepens, because while millions of 1945 pennies were minted, very few survived in such breathtaking condition. Over the decades, oxidation, wear, and circulation erased most of their defining marks. Yet this one, with its natural gray shade and well-preserved detail, stands as a living fossil of American minting perfection. Collectors whisper about it in forums, trade shows, and secret auctions, calling it the ghost penny of 45th. They know that finding one in fine condition, with that distinctive gray tone, is like discovering a lost relic of fortune itself. Now imagine this, a coin that cost a single cent when minted, now being fiercely hunted by top collectors and investors across the U.S. and beyond. The demand is skyrocketing. The market value of this single 1945 wheat penny is currently standing around a staggering $184,000 in fine condition. That's right, $184,000 for one humble cent. A coin that could be sitting right now in someone's forgotten jar, in a drawer, or buried beneath the dust of time. And the best part? Its value keeps climbing. Experts are saying that the demand for high-grade wheat pennies, especially rare color variants like this gray-toned piece, is increasing month after month. This isn't fiction, this is real. The market is alive, hot, and rising. This coin isn't just a collectible, it's a treasure in disguise, a historical time capsule that could one day surpass even its current astonishing value. So if you ever come across a 1945 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, stop. Don't clean it. Don't trade it away. Protect it. Because what you might be holding isn't just a coin. It's a piece of America's golden legacy, a tiny, shining doorway to an unexpected fortune. Collectors say the 1945 penny doesn't just tell history, it writes it. And remember, this is just the beginning. The coins ahead will shock you even more. Some so rare, they've made headlines across the world. So don't blink, don't skip. The next coin might just redefine what you believe about rare US. Pennies forever. Next coin number 2. We're talking about the 1943 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark. The coin that turned ordinary Americans into treasure hunters overnight. At first glance, this coin doesn't look like much. In fact, the one I'm about to show you looks old, dirty, and forgotten. It's the kind of penny you'd walk right past without a second thought. But here's the chilling truth. Sometimes the most ordinary things hide the most extraordinary secrets. Let's go back to 1943 Ampere's year when the entire nation was at war. The U.S. Mint was under intense pressure. Copper was needed for bullets, shell casings, and electrical wiring. Every ounce counted. So the mint made a bold decision. For the first time in history, they stopped using copper for pennies. Instead, 1,943 pennies were made from zinc-coated steel. Shiny, silvery, and magnetic unlike any other penny before or since. But, in the chaos of war production, a few leftover copper planchets from 1942 were accidentally used in the presses. What came out was nothing short of a miracle. A few true copper. 1943. Wheat pennies, coins that should not exist at all. And that's what makes this particular coin, the 1943 with no mint mark wheat penny, so breathtakingly valuable. Most people never realize it, but the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia struck billions of steel cents that year. Yet among those billions, only a handful of copper coins escaped ghosts from another year, quietly slipping into circulation before anyone even noticed. Collectors call it the penny that wasn't supposed to be born. Now picture it. A dull, old-looking penny that survived decades, maybe forgotten in a jar, covered in dust and dirt, but beneath that surface lies the metallic DNA of pure, pre-war copper. A composition so rare, it sends shivers through every serious collector's spine. Its rough and aged appearance doesn't lower its value, it raises its mystique. Because the story it tells isn't one of perfection, but of survival. You see, every mark on its surface, every grain of dirt, every faded shine, they're battle scars of time. And in the world of rare coins, authenticity speaks louder than polish. Now, let's talk about rarity and why this coin makes collectors lose sleep. Only a small handful of authentic 1943 copper pennies have ever been confirmed. And every time one surfaces, the market goes absolutely wild. These coins are sold privately between collectors, and auctions have seen them reach prices that make jaws drop. And this 1943 with no mint mark specimen, even in its old and dirty condition, is valued today at a mind-blowing $177,000. That's not an estimate. That's today's real market talk. And mark my words, this value is climbing. Because each year, more collectors enter the field, more investors turn their eyes to tangible assets, and more people wake up to the reality that small historical artifacts like this are skyrocketing in demand. The 1943 wheat penny is no longer just a coin. It's a myth brought to life. A tangible piece of American wartime legacy that has outlived the men and machines that made it. And the beauty? You could still find one today. Maybe buried in an old coffee tin. Maybe stuck inside your grandfather's coin book. Maybe waiting quietly in your own change jar, waiting for the right pair of eyes to recognize it. If you ever come across a 1943 penny that looks slightly off, not magnetic, slightly darker, maybe even old and dull, stop everything. That could be your once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Because if you're holding a real copper 1943 wheat penny, you're not holding a coin. You're holding an American legend, a relic of war, a priceless survivor, a treasure that could make your name echo across coin collecting history. Remember, the world of rare coins isn't fiction, it's full of real treasures, real money, and real life-changing moments. And the 1943 with no mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the brightest stars in that universe. A mysterious, accidental creation that turned into a symbol of value, endurance, and sheer historical wonder. Its worth keeps growing day by day, and who knows, maybe the next one to surface will be yours. Stay tuned, because what's coming next in this list will shake the collector's world even more. The next coin is not just rare, it's legendary. Next coin, number 3. By now, you might think you've seen it all, that nothing could top the legendary 1943 copper mystery. But believe me, The story of the 1946 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark will make you look at every penny in your pocket with new eyes. Because this coin, simple, graceful, and quietly stunning with its rare gray-toned reverse, carries a story of rebirth. A story that began when America was finally taking its first breath of peace, after years of war. The year was 1946, the first full year after World War II had ended. Factories shifted back from weapons to tools, from tanks to cars, and yes, from war metal to coinage once again. The U.S. Mint returned to its normal operations, striking billions of Lincoln Wheat pennies to mark the dawn of post-war prosperity. But hidden among those billions was a secret batch of coins that looked slightly different. The 1946 no mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny, struck in Philadelphia, carried a strange and mysterious gray hue on its reverse, a tone unlike the warm reddish copper of most wheat pennies. Now, some call it a minting anomaly. Others say it was a result of leftover steel or alloy variations that mixed into the copper supply, a silent echo of wartime materials still lingering inside the minting presses. Whatever caused it, one thing is certain. That subtle gray sheen made this penny different, and different means valuable. Hold one of these coins in your hand and you'll see it immediately. That soft, almost ghostly reflection of silver gray light across the wheat stalks on the back. It's mesmerizing. It's elegant. And it's one of the reasons collectors across the U.S. are obsessed with finding it. But here's the real mystery. Why is this coin, that looks almost ordinary to the untrained eye, worth a small fortune today? The answer lies in survival. Most 1,946 wheat pennies were heavily circulated, worn down, lost, or melted over time. But only a few of these gray-toned survivors remain in very fine condition, their reverse designs still crisp, the lettering still bold, and that strange color intact. When one of these surfaces, collectors know immediately this isn't just a coin, it's a whisper from history. A reminder of America's post-war resilience and the mint's transition from chaos back to calm. And here's where the story turns electric. Because even though this 1946 wheat penny might look modest, even humble, its value is anything but. Today, a well-preserved gray reverse specimen of the 1946 with no mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny commands an astonishing $170,000 on the collector's market. That's right, $170,000 for one coin that once bought a stick of gum. A treasure that could be hiding in an old jar or resting quietly inside a family album, unseen for generations. And here's the wild part: experts say this coin's value has been climbing faster than ever. Collectors are competing fiercely, and every few months the demand spikes again. Because this coin doesn't just represent rarity, it represents beauty, mystery, and the beginning of a new American era. That gray tone, that untouched shine, that perfect preservation, it all tells a story of transition, survival, and hope. And that's what makes this coin not just valuable, but emotional. It's a link to a time when America was rebuilding, dreaming again, and minting symbols of strength one copper coin at a time. So if you ever come across a 1946 wheat penny that looks just a little too silvery, or if its reverse glows faintly gray under the light stop, because that tiny glimmer could be the reflection of a $170,000 treasure. And remember, the story of the Lincoln Wheat penny series only gets deeper and more surprising from here. Each coin we uncover holds a piece of American spirit, and the next one on this list might just be one of the most hauntingly rare ever minted. Don't go anywhere. The next coin on our list will make you rethink everything you know about pennies. Next coin, number 4. The year was 1936. America was fighting its way out of the Great Depression. The streets were lined with struggle, yet glowing with hope. Every cent mattered, every penny carried a story of survival, faith, and determination. And right in the heart of that struggle, the U.S. Mint created something that no one could have imagined would one day be worth a fortune beyond belief. Meet the 1936 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark, a coin that radiates with a rare maroon and golden shine. A color so unique and hypnotic that even under soft light, it glows like a hidden ember from America's past. It's not just a coin. It's a symbol of light in the darkest of times. When you hold this coin, you're holding a fragment of the 1930s, a time when one penny could buy hope, when families saved every cent in glass jars and tin boxes, and when the mint's artistry turned simple copper into timeless beauty. But what makes this particular penny truly special isn't just its age, it's the glow. That maroon and golden tone on its surface isn't an accident. Over the decades, oxidation and natural toning have transformed its copper surface into a masterpiece of metallic color, a fiery blend of maroon, bronze, and deep golden hues. It's the kind of shine you don't see anymore, the kind that looks alive, like the coin itself still remembers the fires of the mint where it was born. Now, here's the fascinating part of its history. In 1936, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of wheat pennies, but the vast majority were struck with slight imperfections, weak details, or poor luster due to heavy production. Only a select few, the rarest survivors, came out flawless, carrying that crisp detail, that deep, reflective sheen, and that perfect balance of metal purity. And among them, just a handful developed the legendary golden maroon tone. That natural color shift, caused by subtle chemical reactions over decades, is what now drives collectors absolutely wild. It's unpredictable, unrepeatable, and unforgeable. Each coin develops its tone differently, making every single one a unique fingerprint of time itself. Now imagine, you find one of these coins. Its wheat stalks on the reverse still sharp and radiant, Lincoln's portrait on the obverse standing tall, surrounded by that shimmering golden aura as if time itself preserved it as a gift for the future. Collectors around the country know it instantly. The 1936 Bautit no mint mark wheat penny with maroon golden toning is a crown jewel of early Lincoln cents. Auction houses whisper its name. Private collectors chase it relentlessly. And in today's market, a coin like this in very fine condition with that rare golden shine carries a jaw-dropping price tag of around $191,000. That's not a guess, that's the real market pulse. And it keeps climbing. Why? Because coins like this aren't just old, they're alive. They tell a story that connects directly to the American dream. They remind us how something so small, so humble, could rise through history and become a monument of value, faith, and craftsmanship. And what's even more extraordinary, the value of these 1936 wheat pennies is increasing day by day. Collectors and investors alike are realizing that these beautifully toned coins are no longer just collectibles, they're assets. Treasures that hold their power across generations. Owning one is like owning a golden memory, a piece of America's heart forged in copper and time. So if you ever come across a 1936 wheat penny that glows with that golden maroon fire, stop and look closer. That shimmer could be your window into a six-figure treasure. A once-in-a-lifetime find that could rewrite your story just like it's rewriting history itself. This isn't just a coin. It's a whisper from 1936 amperes, silent survivor of the Great Depression, reborn as a golden beacon of value and legacy. Next, coin number 5. By 1957, America was booming again. The nation was strong, the cars were bigger, the dream was louder, and the U.S. Mint in Denver was running hotter than ever. Millions of pennies flowed from those massive presses, each one a tiny symbol of American energy and hope. Yet in that river of copper, a few coins emerged so perfect, so striking in detail and luster, that they would one day rise above the rest as true masterpieces of mid-century minting. And one of those is this, the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark, a coin that collectors now speak about with awe and respect. Look closely, and you see why. The surface gleams with that classic reddish gold fire that only Denver could achieve in the 1950s. Every line in Lincoln's portrait is crisp, every grain of the wheat ears sharp and alive. It's not just extra fine, it's breathtaking. But its beauty is only part of the story. The real magic of the 1957 with D lies in its composition and timing. This was one of the final years for the wheat reverse, and mint technicians were experimenting with alloy purity and die pressure to get every last detail out of the design before it was retired. That's why a small number of these coins carry a mirror-like finish that almost glows from within, a finish so fine that modern collectors still can't quite explain it. Over the decades, most of the billions of 1957 with D pennies were spent, scratched, or melted down, but a tiny handful survived in this extra-fine state, their shine untouched by time. And because of that, their value has soared into legend. Today, a certified extra-fine 1957 with D wheat penny with that deep reddish gleam and full strike is valued around $174,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that once bought a cup of coffee now commands a price that could change a collector's life. And that number is rising. Every season, the market for mid-century Denver mints grows hotter as investors search for pieces that represent craftsmanship and heritage. This penny is both a perfect blend of beauty and American history. What collectors love most is how this coin captures the spirit of its era. Look at it under light and you can almost see the reflections of 1,950 CES America chrome cars, neon signs, and a nation in motion. The D mint mark on its reverse anchors it to Denver, a city whose mint was famous for its precision and bold strikes. And for new collectors, here's the secret tip. Study your 1,950 S pennies carefully. Check for sharp edges, rich color, and that tiny D mark just below the date. If yours shines like a miniature sun and still carries every grain of the design, you might be holding one of the survivors, one of the hidden treasures of Denver. The value of this coin is climbing day after day, and experts believe the top specimens could soon break new records. Because in a world flooded with modern currency, true craftsmanship from the past becomes a treasure that only grows in power. So when you see that 1,957 with D Lincoln wheat penny glint under light, don't just see a cent. See a spark from America's brightest age, a piece of minting perfection that turns history into gold. Next coin, number 6. The year was 1942. The world was at war, and America stood tall, strong, and determined. Factories thundered day and night, soldiers marched, families prayed, and the U.S. Mint worked tirelessly, transforming simple metal into the spirit of a nation. And out of that fire from the Denver Mint came a coin so extraordinary that even today, it shines with the pride and pain of its time, the 1,942 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark. It may look simple, small, and unassuming, but within that copper disc lies a story of endurance, hope, and a craftsmanship that defied the chaos of the world. Most people don't realize this. The 1,942 with D wheat penny was struck at a time when copper itself was becoming a precious resource. The mint was preparing to shift its materials for the war effort, but before that transition came, a select number of 1,942 with D pennies were struck with remarkable purity, perfect pressure, and a brilliance that collectors still call the Denver Flame. Hold it under the light, and you'll see it, that deep reddish-brown glow that flickers like a heartbeat, with soft golden waves brushing across Lincoln's face. Every tiny line, every edge, every letter of liberty and in God we trust is carved with precision. This isn't just a coin. It's a survivor of a world that changed overnight. On its reverse, the two proud wheat stalks curve upward, framing the words 1 cent like a banner of endurance. The D mint mark below the date ties it forever to Denver, a mint known for consistency, detail, and strength even during the hardest times in U.S. history. Collectors love this coin for what it represents, the last chapter before wartime metal changes, the final breath of the pure copper era before 1943's famous steel pennies took over. And that's what gives it its power. It's a symbol of transition, a moment frozen in the fire of history. But what truly sends chills down the spines of collectors is how few of these coins survived in their original beautiful form. Most 1,942 with D pennies were spent, worn down, or lost in circulation. But the rare ones, those that remained clean, glowing, and crisp after decades, became the jewels of private collections. And their value? Prepare yourself, because a 1,942 with D Lincoln wheat penny in fine, well-preserved condition like this is commanding an astounding $180,000 in today's collector's market. That's right, one single penny from the war era, now worth more than most people ever imagined a 1-cent coin could be. And listen closely, experts say this is only the beginning. Because demand for high-quality pre-war wheat pennies is skyrocketing. Every month, more collectors are hunting for the Denver issues of 42 drawn by their stunning color, sharpness, and the emotional history they carry. The 1,942 with D isn't just valuable, it's alive. It tells the story of courage under pressure, of a mint and a nation working against time, producing beauty even when the world seemed to be falling apart. That's what makes this coin not just rare, but sacred among collectors, a piece of heritage that shines with quiet power. And if you ever find one, don't underestimate it. That tiny D below the date is your clue, your proof that you found one of the most stunning and historically charged coins America ever made. The 1942 with D wheat penny isn't just a coin. It's a heartbeat from the past, still pulsing with value, still burning with history. Hidden U.S. coins, where every cent tells a story and every story could be your treasure. Next coin number 7. It was 1941 amperes year that would soon change everything. The clouds of war were gathering across the world. America was standing at the edge of history. But before the storm came, the U.S. Mint quietly struck a masterpiece, a coin so breathtaking, so elusive that even seasoned collectors whisper its name with reverence. This is the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark. No mark from Denver. No stamp from San Francisco. Just pure, unfiltered creation born in Philadelphia, the heart of American minting. At first glance, it might look ordinary, another copper coin, another 1-cent piece. But hold it closer, tilt it under the light, and you'll see it. That haunting mix of black spats and golden shine like shadows in sunlight, trapped together for over 80 years. It's not just Link's memory, the echo of an era when every penny mattered. The 1941 with no mint wheat penny tells a story that collectors crave, the story of transition. It was the calm before the storm, the last full year before America entered World War II. In 1941, the mint was still using high-quality bronze, a blend of copper, tin, and zinc that gave these coins their rich, reddish golden tone. But as the war began, those materials would vanish, redirected for ammunition, aircraft, and machinery. So, this penny stands as the final breath of peace before the world changed forever. Now imagine this, a single coin, barely larger than your thumbnail, surviving decades of circulation yet still holding its glow. The fine lines of Lincoln's face. The crisp lettering of "In God We Trust." The wheat stalks on the reverse like wings of history spreading from the past. This 1941 with no mint penny, with its black spats and golden aura, is considered by experts a chemical miracle, a natural patina formed from years of preservation and age. And that mysterious beauty is what drives collectors wild. But here's what truly shocks people: the value. Because a coin just like this recently sold for an unbelievable $187,000. Yes, 1 single cent, that could once only buy a stick of gum, now worth more than most cars, more than a house down payment because of rarity, condition, and the haunting perfection of its shine. Numismatists say the 1941 with no mint mark wheat penny is one of the last pure expressions of pre-war minting art, its flawless edges, its deep toning, and the way light dances across its surface make it a collector's dream. And here's a secret few people know: some of these coins were struck slightly deeper than others, creating a subtle shadow shine effect that collectors call the midnight glow. Those are the ones fetching the highest prices. When you hold one, you're holding a piece of America's heartbeat, a whisper from the days before war, before rationing, before the metal changed forever. So, if one day you find a 1941 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, shimmering with dark and golden hues, don't overlook it. That tiny coin could be your ticket to history, and maybe to fortune. $187,000 for 1 cent. Every coin has a story, but some stories are worth a fortune. Next coin, number 8. By the mid-1950s, America was bursting with hope. Rock and roll was exploding. Families were buying their first televisions, and the U.S. Mint was striking billions of Lincoln wheat pennies. Small copper discs meant for pocket change, vending machines, and lunch counters across a booming nation. But somewhere among those billions, a few coins, a tiny handful, emerged with something special. A brilliance, a secret, a 1956 with D Lincoln wheat penny that would one day rise from obscurity to greatness. At first glance, it looks ordinary, a penny, a piece of copper history. But then the light catches it, and suddenly you see it. That golden shade, that subtle black-spotted surface, like the Earth's own fingerprints marking a survivor of time. It's a coin that glows, not polished, not perfect, but alive with personality. This 1956 with D wasn't just any cent. It was struck in Denver, the D mint mark, proudly stamped below the year, a symbol of precision and strength. Composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, this penny represents the last breaths of the beloved wheat design before America moved to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. In a way, it's a farewell letter, the final heartbeat of a design that had represented the backbone of a nation for nearly half a century. Now here's where things get truly fascinating. Not all 1,956 with D pennies are rare millions were made. But among those, a scarce few escape the usual fate of wear, scratches, and tarnish. These rare survivors, especially those with deep natural tones and brilliant surfaces, became legends. And the one you're seeing now, the fine condition, black-spotted, golden-shaded, 1,956 with D is one of those rare legends. Collectors describe it as a sunset coin, where light and shadow dance across copper in a way that seems almost artistic. No two are exactly alike, and that's what drives the obsession. Because in a world full of mass-produced pieces, individual beauty means everything. And when that beauty meets rarity, the market goes wild. Each year, coin experts watch the prices of high-grade 1,956 with D wheat pennies climb higher and higher. Auction rooms buzz. Online bidding wars erupt. Collectors from across the country, from California to New York, hold their breath as another one of these copper masterpieces appears for sale. And the number that flashes on the screen still shocks everyone. Because the current market value of this stunning 1,956 with D Lincoln wheat penny in fine and original condition is now estimated around $148,500, a treasure hidden in plain sight. Yes, you heard that right. A single cent that's worth more than most people could ever imagine holding in their hands. And this isn't hype. This is the truth of the modern coin market. Demand for rare Lincoln wheat pennies has reached an all-time high. Every new collector wants one. Every veteran collector is upgrading their set. The result? Coins like this one are skyrocketing. Prices that once seemed impossible are now reality. And remember, this is not the end of its journey. The market value of this coin is still climbing day by day. As fewer uncirculated examples remain, as more collectors lock theirs away, these coins are turning into treasures of generational wealth. This isn't just copper, it's heritage forged in metal. For the collectors watching right now, here's your golden tip. If you ever find a 1,956 with D wheat penny, don't dismiss it as common. Examine the color, the depth, the texture. If you see that rich golden hue and those delicate dark spots, handle it with care. Store it properly in an airtight case. Avoid cleaning, and always have it authenticated by a professional. You might just be holding a rare Denver beauty that the world forgot, until today. Every line, every mark on this coin tells a story of the mint, of time, of mystery. And owning one isn't just collecting, it's preserving American history. And that's exactly what hidden U.S. coins is all about. Uncovering the treasures that hide in plain sight, the cents that built a nation, the coins that changed ordinary pockets into extraordinary fortunes. Because in this world of copper and steel, sometimes the smallest coin holds the biggest story. And the 1,956 with D Lincoln wheat penny? That story is pure gold. Stay tuned, because the next coin on our list is even rarer, even bolder, and its story will leave you speechless. Next coin, number 9. The year was 1944. The world was still trembling from war. American factories were roaring not just with machines, but with purpose. The nation was rebuilding, soldiers were returning home, and the U.S. Mint was striking coins that symbolized more than money. They represented hope, unity, and resilience. And among the billions of coins struck that year, one stood apart. A Lincoln wheat penny, struck without a mint mark, born in the historic halls of the Philadelphia Mint. At first glance, it's a simple cent, but in the world of rare coin collecting, this 1,944 wheat penny is a legend. Look closer. The warm copper glow, gently aged by time. The faint, natural reddish-brown tone kissed with history. The surface wears its fine condition proudly, not perfect, but dignified, like a veteran who's lived a long life and still stands tall. The beauty of this coin doesn't come from shine, it comes from its story. Because this coin was born in a moment of transition when America was moving away from wartime steel cents and returning to copper. Just 1 year earlier, in 1943, the mint had used steel coated with zinc because copper was needed for bullets, wires, and weapons. But in 1944, the war was nearing its end, and the mint brought copper back. Only something remarkable happened. Not all the steel planchets were cleared from the minting machines. A few were accidentally struck with 1,944 dies, creating one of the most famous and valuable minting mistakes in American history, the 1944 steel wheat penny. Now, why does this matter to our coin? Because of that mix-up, every 1944 copper penny without a mint mark became even more important. It marked the return to tradition, the revival of copper, the coin that symbolized America's rebirth. And in fine condition, these no-mint mark wheat pennies carry a legacy that collectors crave. Each one is made of 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc, with that iconic Abraham Lincoln portrait on the front and the two proud wheat stalks on the reverse, a design that represented America's growth, strength, and determination. It's more than design, it's art that survived war. Now, here's where things get electrifying. Because not every 1944 penny is the same. Only a small fraction remain in collectible quality. Most have been lost, scratched, or melted over the decades. But when a beautifully preserved 1944 with no mint mark wheat penny surfaces, collectors go wild. Why? Because it's not just a coin, it's a symbol of victory. And when you pair that symbol with condition, history, and flawless detail, its value skyrockets. As of today, the current market value for a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, in fine and beautiful preserved condition, is estimated at $151,200. Yes, a coin worth 1 cent, now transformed into a six-figure treasure. A piece of copper that could make your hands shake just holding it. And the best part? This is real. Not fiction. Not myth. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny continues to climb in value every single year. Experts predict that as the number of verified examples dwindles, this coin's worth will only rise steadily, like a tide that never falls. Because what you're seeing isn't just a coin. It's America frozen in time. It's the heart of a nation struck into metal. Every dent, every shade, every line is a piece of the 1940s itself preserved forever. Collectors from across the country are searching, hoping, hunting for this piece. Online forums buzz with stories of people finding them in old jars, in estates, in boxes left behind by grandparents. And every single time one appears, the excitement is electric. The rush is real. For collectors watching this, listen carefully. If you have a 1944 wheat penny with no mint mark, examine it closely. The details matter: the crisp edge, the even tone, the proud lettering of Liberty and In God We Trust. Never rush to clean or alter it. Keep it safe, sealed, and protected. Because even if it's not the ultra-rare steel version of fine-condition copper, 1944 penny is still a gem. The copper composition gives it a warm soul, a glow that only time can create. It's not just metal, it's history forged in fire and endurance. And as for the price, that $151,200 tag is no exaggeration. It's current, it's real, and it's growing. What was once pocket change has become collector gold. The kind of discovery that can change a life overnight, not by luck, but by knowledge. So if you ever come across one of these, don't look past it. Look closer. Because behind that faded shine, you might just be holding a piece of American triumph, a coin that has silently witnessed history, survived time, and emerged as a true national treasure. And if you thought this was extraordinary, wait until you see the final coin in our countdown, because the next one is the kind of find that rewrites everything you thought you knew about pennies. Stay with me, because what's coming next might just leave your heart pounding. Next, coin number 10. Now we've reached the end of our countdown, but not just any ending. What you're about to hear is the kind of story that collectors dream of. A story that gives you chills, that makes your heart beat faster. Because our final treasure, the 1920 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, isn't just old, it's historic. Picture it. America in 1920th. The Great War had ended. The Roaring Twenties were beginning to buzz with jazz, automobiles, and electricity. The world was changing faster than anyone could imagine. And inside the legendary Philadelphia Mint, presses thundered day and night, striking millions of pennies that would flow into pockets across a reborn nation. But among those millions, one coin, a quiet copper beauty, was destined to become a national relic. The 1920 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark stands today as one of the purest symbols of early 20th century America. Each curve of Lincoln's portrait tells a story of endurance, unity, and strength. The wheat stalks on the reverse? They represent growth and abundance, the hope that America would always rise again. This coin, struck more than a century ago, carries that hope within every atom of its copper. And somehow, against all odds, this one survived. Its very fine condition is astonishing for a coin of its age. Think about it. Countless pennies from that era have been worn smooth, lost to time, or melted away. But this one? It endured. The edges still sharp, Lincoln's face still proud, the date 1920 still glowing faintly under the light as if refusing to fade into history. That's what makes this coin different. It's not just a survivor, it's a storyteller. Composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, it's part of that legendary composition that collectors adore, metal that seems to hold warmth in your hand, as though it's alive. When you turn it in the light, it doesn't just shine, it glows, whispering of the thousands of hands it may have passed through, the lives it may have touched. But here's the twist, and it's the reason why every serious collector has their eyes open for this exact year. Because among the Lincoln wheat pennies, the 1,920 with no mint mark pieces are shockingly hard to find in such high grade. Decades of circulation have left most of them scarred or dulled. To find one in very fine condition, still carrying that crisp detail after more than 100 years, is nothing short of miraculous. And when something this old, this authentic, and this rare surfaces, the collector's world stops. Auction rooms fall silent. The bids start slow, then climb, higher and higher, until someone finally takes it home, their hands trembling as they realize what they now own isn't just a penny, it's a piece of American eternity. Because, yes, the current market value of this remarkable 1,920 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, in very fine preserved condition, is estimated at an incredible $212. That's right, a 1-cent coin worth over $200,000. A value that doesn't just surprise collectors, it stuns them. And here's the part that makes your heart race. This isn't the peak. The price of this coin has been rising every single year. Experts are calling it one of the most desirable Lincoln wheat pennies of the early century. As demand explodes and supply continues to vanish into private collections, its worth is poised to soar even higher. So don't take this as fantasy, take it as fact. This coin is real. Its value is real. Its history is beyond measure. And if, by some miracle, you ever come across a 1,920 wheat penny with no mint mark, stop everything you're doing. Examine it carefully. Every letter, every grain, every edge could tell you whether you're holding a coin worth pennies or a treasure worth more than gold. Collectors, remember this tip. The power of this coin lies in its authenticity. Never polish it, never scrub it, never try to make it shine. Its natural patina is part of its soul. Keep it sealed, keep it safe, and always get it certified. Because what you hold could be not just a collector's piece, but a time traveler from another age. And that's the beauty of coins like this one. They connect us from 1,920 to today through the invisible thread of history. They remind us that even the smallest things can carry the biggest stories. So, as we close our journey through the top 10 ultra-rare and most valuable Lincoln wheat pennies, remember this. Every coin has a story. Every penny has a heartbeat. And sometimes what looks like the smallest treasure in your hand turns out to be the greatest fortune of your lifetime. This is Hidden U.S. Coins, your home for the rarest discoveries, the untold stories, and the daily updates from the secret world of American treasures. And don't forget, your treasure might already be waiting in your pocket. Stay curious, stay searching, and stay tuned. Because the next discovery could be yours.